something that is not commonly known about that beautiful song and prayer that continues to touch the hearts of so many in the Jewish world is that when Debbie Friedman wrote it, she looked out into the world and she saw a world in need of healing and saw that in so many religious communities there aren't the same opportunities for prayers for healing. And one of the motivations for her to write that song was seeing the pain and anguish felt within the LGBTQ community as a result of the AIDS epidemic. And it was her hope that this song might bring more faith, courage, strength to all of those people, and it has continued to ring and resound within all of us for so many years. On this Shabbat, it is my unique privilege and pleasure to cede this podium over to a member of our community who knows from firsthand experience what that was like, what Debbie Friedman was responding to. And so I want to invite up Lin Turner, who's going to share some memories and some Torah with us on this Pride Shabbat. No timer necessary.
Shalom, y'all. When Rabbi Ross asked me if I would speak, I was hesitant, but I agreed. I didn't quite know what a journey it was going to take me on through memory, opening doors I had closed, and remembering people I would not be here without. I was born in 1953. Statistically, men born in 53 live to an average age of 82. If you are a gay man, that has dropped to 44, and that was because of the HIV epidemic. I had an early childhood of privilege. I loved the great indoors. The great outdoors were not for me. Football and hunting gave way to the Metropolitan Opera on Saturday afternoons. My parents knew they had an unusual child on their hand when Fred Goldsmith told them I was the only 4-year-old boy who ever asked their Santa for a fire truck and opera tickets. I knew that there was a difference, but I didn't know what it was. As I got older, I was fortunate to travel extensively with my parents and see things that other kids in Forest City, Arkansas, 7th generation, did not see. It set me apart, as if I needed more. Life was good. Then junior high hit. As every gay man of my generation can tell you, junior high was hell. We were the victims of every possible indignity, being tripped in the hall, having food dumped on us in the lunchroom, being laughed at when we knew the right answer in class. Fortunately, I was able to get out and go to a school in Florida where it was a little bit gentler and nicer. As my sexuality was awakening, it was time to pray away the gay. Well, guess what didn't work? Through college, I kept secrets. Was not easy. The secrets turned me from a great student to a mediocre one. Soon as I could get out of the South, I headed to the Big Apple, where for a year I had a grand time, meeting people like me, enjoying theater, opera, music, art, food. But after a year, New York was too big, so I scooted up to Boston for 5 years. It was easier, except for each winter, the cold seemed to get worse and longer. So next stop, 1982, early December, San Francisco. San Francisco in the 80s to 90s play a major part of my life story in making me who I am. The city was about the size of Memphis, population, but it is estimated that of 650,000 people, 60,000 to 100,000 were gay. We developed our own culture. We had our own music, our arts. We had heaven. It was our Jerusalem. But the temple was about to fall. There was a virus out there called HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. It was hard at first to understand that this was not something that wouldn't pass away. As a president of ours said of another virus, it'll be gone by Easter. It wasn't. My first Christmas there, having been there just a few weeks, my friend Jim Hurwitz said, "What are you doing Christmas?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, come with me. Brotherhood from Temple Emmanuel is preparing meals for people with this virus." So I chopped onions. I think we prepared maybe 50 meals. As time rolled on, the 50 meals turned into thousands and thousands, and it kept going and growing. The local gay paper had maybe 2 obituaries the first week I moved there. At the worst of the epidemic, there were over 100. No one was responding. We had a president who refused to mention that there was an illness. We had Pentecostals, evangelicals, Orthodox Jews saying it's God's punishment. Sickness doesn't work that way. We knew with no cavalry on the horizon, we had to act ourselves, and we did. We formed organizations. We took people to doctor's appointments, sat with them through the appointments, took them home or sometimes to the hospital. We met parents at the airport. They may not have known that their son who was dying was gay. They may not have known their son was sick. That was hard. But we did it. We came together as a community. We had to. No one was on our side until a nice Jewish girl named Elizabeth Taylor started speaking out, bringing attention to what was going on. May her memory be for a blessing always. The continual going to funerals, we had to have a way to cope. So we would go to baby namings. Lesbian mothers, I'm godfather to 1 or 2 children, we'd go out dancing. We'd go to weddings. We would celebrate. We would go to services. We would say Kaddish. Coping became difficult, but over the 12-year period before I burned out on caring for people, hands-on, we pulled together. Every corner store, every department store, fine jewelers, corner markets, all had the equivalent of a pushki box. There was a big jar about the size of a pickle jar, said every penny counts. We raised millions of dollars to pay for the housing, the health care of our brothers. Seemed like it would never end. The ultimate blessing of that period was medical research took a giant step forward. Things we take for granted today were unknown then. Lives that are maybe people sitting with us right now would not have been here without the help of Elizabeth Taylor and Dr. Matilda Krim. When Pharaoh died and Bill Clinton came into office, things started changing. Money was loosed for research. Money was loosed for care. Made a big, big difference. The role of the synagogue cannot be overestimated. As it was then called, the HUAC, Northern California Region, was the first group to come to the rescue or to admit there was a problem and try to help. That will forever be a warm spot in my heart. In this week's Torah portion, Behaladika, Moses is told by God to tell Aaron, here is how you light the menorah. You face it so that the light shine forward. During those dark periods, we had to face forward and let our light shine forward. Wasn't always easy, and today the memories of it can be hurtful, but we did. Eventually, the proper combination of drugs came along, and instead of 20% of the gay males born in 53 living, well, that 20 is still living, they're not dying from HIV anymore or opportunistic infections. They are dying from the ravages of age and time. That has been a blessing. Behaladika also says in the story of the second Pesach that you have second chances. Today, looking back, what did I learn? Do what you can. Visit the sick. Go to funerals. Keep in touch with old friends. And if it becomes overwhelming, ask for help. Above all, live your life forward. Value the moment. It will be there. A few moments ago, we sang Debbie Friedman's rendition of Misha Barak, the prayer for healing. The prayer that got me through everything is taken from that. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say, Amen. Thank you.